Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacob Young with This Week in Sports. The field is set for this year's Final Four in San Antonio. Like any other year, the madness is in full swing, but that doesn't mean we should look past the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, tied for the lowest seed ever in the Final Four. They won their first 3 rounds by a combined 4 points before knocking off Kansas State in the Elite Eight. Loyola will take on 3-seed Michigan for a bid in the championship game. And on the other side of the bracket, it's a battle of 1 seeds, Villanova against Kansas. Nova has breezed through their region, but Kansas needed overtime to get by Duke in the last round. Malik Newman scored a career-high 32, and he will have to have another big game to get by the favored Wildcats. The winners will meet early next week to crown a national champion. Odell Beckham Jr. wants to be the highest-paid player in the NFL, but the Giants are not seeing eye-to-eye with him on this one. OBJ's off-field drama questions his maturity to get a major contract. A video leaked showing him and a woman laying on a bed with lines of a white substance. This does not help his case. But if New York wants to see him on the field at the start of the 2018 season, a deal may need to get done. Beckham missed OTAs last season and could do the same this year. Owner John Mara recently said no player is untouchable in a trade, raising questions on Beckham's future with Big Blue. After Stephen Curry was diagnosed with an MCL sprain, Steve Kerr said there is no way he'll be playing for the first round of the NBA playoffs. The 2-time MVP is hoping to prove his coach wrong and return before expected. But this is familiar territory for the Warriors after Kevin Durant missed time for an MCL sprain in last year's playoffs. Curry was averaging over 26 points and 6 assists per game, and he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. Currently, Golden State sits comfortably with the 2 seed in the Western Conference, 5.5 games behind the Houston Rockets. And the Marist baseball team won their first conference series of the season against Monmouth over the weekend. In the rubber match on Sunday, junior Randy Taveras lined a walk-off single into left field in the bottom of the 10th. Marist jumped out to a 3-0 lead thanks in part to a solo shot by freshman Reese Artemage, the first of his collegiate career. But Monmouth rallied in the 9th to send it into extras before Taveras ended it. Sophomore Connor McNamara pitched over 6 scoreless innings for Marist. A fire broke out on the 50th floor of Trump Tower this Saturday, leaving 1 dead and 6 firefighters injured. 67-year-old Todd Brasner was unconscious when he was rescued by firefighters and taken to the hospital in critical condition. Brasner later died at the hospital, according to firefighters. The cause of death is yet to be determined by the medical examiner. According to a spokesperson for FDNY, the upper-level apartments were not equipped with fire sprinklers. The apartment was valued at over $2.5 million. President Trump and his family were in Washington, D.C. when the fire broke out.
The Marist women's basketball program is no stranger to playing for conference championships. Head coach Brian Georges secured MAC titles in 9 out of 10 seasons, but the Red Foxes have not gotten back to the national tournament since 2014. Without an opponent to game plan for yet, the team is getting ready for anyone that stands in their path. After a first-round bye, the journey to capturing another championship will begin.
Basically what we're going to do is we're just trying to touch up on some things that we need to work on to try to improve more of, and add a couple wrinkles.
Once again this season, sophomore Rebecca Hand has led the way for the Red Foxes. She is averaging over 16 points in 32 minutes per game. The sharpshooter made 52 consecutive free throws earlier in the season, tying her for 7th in Division I history. To top it off, she was named to the All-Conference First Team just days ago.
Most individual awards are also a reflection of the team. Rebecca's a great shooter, but usually somebody has to give them the ball.
Coach Georges also told me they're game planning for both Manhattan and Iona, whichever team advances to play them on Friday. For now, we're live in McCann Arena. Jacob Young, MCTV. The Mets wrapped up their series with the Cardinals in a matinee at Citi Field. New York trailed St. Louis by a run heading to the bottom of the 8th. But that would change right here. Wilmer Flores ties the game with a pinch hit solo home run. That's his 8th of the season and first since June 24th. He sets the stage for this. Jose Reyes grounds one to first, and Luke Voigt was playing too deep. Trevor Rosenthal doesn't cover in time, and Reyes slid into first to win the game. The Mets win in walk-off fashion, 3-2. The Tri-City Valley Cats' attempt at a 3-game winning streak was cut short last night, but not by their opponent. Thunderstorms delayed the game to make it a doubleheader of sorts against the Connecticut Tigers. It was Chad Brown bobblehead night as we get ready for opening day at Saratoga Racecourse, and the trainer was there to throw out the first pitch. He throws a high strike to get things started at Joe Bruno Stadium. Bottom of the second, and a man on for Reed Russell. He delivers to left field. Christian Trompice hustles around third, and he'll score. It's 1-0 Valley Cats. Juan Robles pitches 4 strong innings for the Cats. The 19-year-old strikes out 6 Connecticut batters and only gives up a run. Bottom 3, Luis Payano gets a hold of one here. It's deep to left, and that one's gone. That's his 3rd homer of the season. The Valley Cats win the nightcap 3-1. Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, and even Tiger Woods competed in the Masters tournament, but Patrick Reed won his first major title over the weekend. He finished 15 under par after shooting in the 60s for the first 3 rounds. Reed went into the final round with a 3-shot lead, and Fowler came up just 1 stroke short of forcing a playoff. Spieth came roaring back in the final round as well after being down 9 strokes, sinking birdie after birdie, 9 in total on the last day, helping him claim 3rd place. Tiger tied for 32nd at 1 over par. In men's action, Marist currently sits at dead last in the MAC with a 3-14 conference record and 6-22 overall. Khalid Hart and the Red Foxes looking to end a 9-game skid, taking on the Golden Griffins of Canisius. Marist lost 91-58 in their meeting earlier this season. Early on, Hart gets it poked away, and it's off to the races for Kiefer Douse. He takes it to the rack for the slam and gives Canisius a 10-point lead. Before the half, it was more of the same as players are scrambling for the loose ball, and Douse comes up with it again. He takes it himself and uses the nifty Euro step to finish. Fast forwarding to the second, Marist answers. Tobias Schoberg finds Ryan Funk for a 2-handed jam, cutting the Griffs' lead to 5. This brought life to the Marist offense as Hart crosses over and doesn't think twice. He drills the 3 to take a 51-50 lead, but Hart wasn't finished. In the high post, he puts his defender through a spin cycle and kisses it off the glass. Marist up by 2 with seconds remaining. It all came down to this. Malik Johnson drives with Kentrell Brooks draped all over him, and he can't get the floater to go. The putback attempt is no good, and Marist holds on for the win, 76-74. J.D. Ricoeur is the gift that keeps on giving for Marist men's lacrosse, recently becoming the program's all-time leader in assists. The senior captain broke the record of 115 that was held for nearly 2 decades. He's on pace to break the MAC record of 129 this season. Along with being named a preseason All-American honorable mention, Ricoeur is the country's active leader in assists. But the attackman credits much of this success to his teammates.
You can't have an assist without a goal scorer, so it's definitely a testament to every guy who's put away a pass I've given them. To be consistent in this league, you just gotta go game by game, put in the work. I'm definitely not alone as a leader on this team. We have 6 great captains on this team and a great senior class that has been through a lot here.
As of Wednesday, the Ridley Lowell Business and Technical Institute permanently closed due to financial accreditation issues. This business, technical, and trade school had locations in multiple states in the Northeast, including 2 close by in the city of Poughkeepsie. According to a Poughkeepsie Journal article, the U.S. Department of Education withdrew its recognition of the Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools in 2016. Now Hart's going to set up the offense and survey the floor, guarded by Nico Clarith. Near side, it's Isaiah Lamb, dumps it down to Obi Moma. Backs down on Oganyemi, but Oganyemi puts it back in his face. It's a block by Oganyemi. Now Marquise Wright on the transition. He makes a move and makes the layup past Richie Mitchell. Marquise Wright, he makes a move and puts up the layup to give Siena the 13-12 lead with 13:40 to go in the first half. I'm Jacob Young with your CNBC Sports Business Update. NBC recently reported projections of over $1.2 billion in ad revenues for Super Bowl 51 and the Winter Olympics in February. 30-second Super Bowl ad prices will once again be increased, selling for around $5 million. The strongest advertising industries for these events will be technology and automotive, followed by retail. Amidst recent controversy surrounding SportsCenter anchor Jemele Hill, ESPN has unveiled changes in the company's social media policy. Employees are now encouraged to confer with colleagues before posting about social issues unless directly related to sports. Any commentary must be approved by senior editorial management. Hill was suspended for 2 weeks following tweets criticizing President Trump and Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. ESPN President John Skipper said this decision was not made in response to these posts. Average ticket prices for Game 7 of the World Series at Dodger Stadium soared to nearly $1,800. The price tag was $300 short of last year's Game 7 in Chicago. This was the first World Series appearance for the Dodgers since 1988. And pizza sales for Papa John's have dropped this NFL season. CEO John Schnatter recently said, quote, "The NFL has hurt us. This is an example of poor leadership. Following the comments, Papa John's shares fell 8.5%. The company has been the official pizza sponsor of the NFL since 2010. For CNBC Business News, I'm Jacob Young.